Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org. Jewish Chicago is out on the street, and it's all over the place. So pick up your free copy. If you're local, you can find it basically at Jewish-type locations. If they're serving corned beef, if they're serving lox, kosher, not kosher, we're going to leave them there. It's going to be all the way from just south of the Loop, all along the lakefront, West Rogers Park, Rogers Park. We're going to be going up into the north and northwest suburbs and even up into Lake County. Over 60,000 circulation from printed copies. And you can find it on the web, ntnm.org. And if you've got a place you'd like to have it, give me a holler. And I'll be happy to take care of it. Our next guest is one of the rarest of creatures in Chicago. He is actually a Republican. And he is the soon-to-be, taking over for my friend Kenny Hollander, who's been there over 20 years, as the 50th Ward Republican Committeeman. We're talking about Thomas Morse. Tom, how you doing?
Avi, thanks a lot for having me on your show.
First of all, thank you. I appreciate your coming here and, tell us about it.
Well, I want to say this and then play catch-up with you, that it was 25 years Kenny Hollander had served the 50th Ward diligently. And he had stepped down, and as of last night or this morning, I was officially appointed by the Cook County Board President, Sig Visnalis. That's a hard one right there. He's Lithuanian, but I'm going to get used to it right there.
Anyway. That's where my parents were born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll talk about that later on, about the dishes, too. I appreciate you having me on the show. I want to give kudos to Kenny for holding the torch for the last 25 years. And, it's going to be a rough act to follow up on, but I'm geared for the game.
No, it sounds good. Well, you've been around politics for a bit, that's for sure. You've run here. I know you were connected with Bernie Stone, who, of course, is my favorite all-time guest on the show. What do you do? There's not a lot of Republicans. It can be a big job. You have a lot of influence because you get half the judges.
Well, first of all, we want to make sure the elections are a two-party system, fair and concise. And you don't always see that in some of the ward Republicans, or especially wards in the city of Chicago where you have half and half. It's never always the case because normally you'd have a Democrat picking another Democrat to become the Republican committeeman.
Exactly. I can tell you that on more than one occasion I've had Democratic committeeman or alderman tell me, do you have any idea how important the Republican committeeman is to us? Because they basically got him bought and paid for.
Currently that's happening over, and I hate to say this, but I'm not going to hate to say it, but I'm ashamed. And that's over in the 39th Ward. And I hope that committeeman makes a decision over there and says, hey, you know what? I am going back to the Republican Party or resign from your position. I like you. You've been a good guy and everything else, but, being bought and paid for and having the Democratic committeeman circulating your petitions in order to become the Republican committeeman and also knocking off somebody else who may wish to go ahead and side for that side or the Republican side, that's dirty tricks. That's dirty pools. It's not the first time, won't be the last time, but we're on to you. And I like I said again, make a conscious choice. Please, either wake up like everybody else in America right now is waking up, get on it in the center right, or resign. One of those two, please.
Yeah, speaking of center right, which is a place that, it's true, the majority of the country is center right. We're in a blue state, which I guess means we're asphyxiating if our faces are blue, but bad joke. But the majority of this country is. What do you see?
Actually, I have to disagree with you. I think the center right now, the country's waking up to that point, saying, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. Not to contradict what you just said, but
sure,
it's Senator DeMint said it right. He said 2 years ago, not that he had an epiphany, but he said America's waking up because, this dream, this promise of change. Change Washington. Change the policies, procedures there. Don't come to my backyard. This is Chicago. We are not going to let New York dictate to us. We're not going to let L.A. dictate to us. Dallas, Toronto, Detroit, Boston. This is Chicago. We dictate to us. We know what's right for Chicago. Not New York going to tell us to do it, or even D.C. They have no idea, clue what they're doing down there, let alone telling us what to do over here.
That's definitely true. They don't have a clue, and that's an understatement. No question about it.
You got to be angry, Avi.
Well-
I think a lot of Americans are angry right now.
Oh, there's no question about. Listen, Obama is creating a new generation of Republicans. He's one of the best advertisements you guys have going.
Come back to the center to right. I'm asking for all my Republicans that are out there, please come back to the center with me. Work with me on this. I'm reaching out to you. I'm asking the conservative Democrats go on the other side. Come to my side. Let me be an advocate for you. Let me show you what's fair, center down to the right. It used to be that way with Bernie when he was back in office, when he started off. For some reason, Avi, it just went like we're back in Britain.
Yeah.
And we decided to cut our ties with Britain over 275, 300 years ago, you know.
Oh, and by the way, hi, Ellen. How you doing?
I want to thank all the other folks in the city, in this ward particularly, besides Bernie Stone, who's been a good friend of mine as well as a business partner. I want to thank also, I'd like to thank, believe it or not, some of the other community leaders out there, if you don't mind.
Sure.
One would be Irv Lowney and the Lowney family of the Devon Bank for allowing us to have my job fair in the past, and also any other town hall meetings. I'd like to
By the
continue
way,
that.
30-second warning. So.
Okay. And anybody else out there, please come out to vote for me in the beginning when it comes to March 20th. Go from the bottom where it says Committeeman, punch, Tom Morris, Republican.
And if people want to contact you?
They can contact me at 773-609-0050. Again, that's 773-609-0050.
Tom Morse, we want to wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you
As
so
the new
much.
committeeman of the 50th Ward, Republican committeeman,
Thank you,
and all
sir.
the best.
All right.